Pennsylvania's state system of higher education. 14 universities, infinite opportunities.
Hi, I'm Chancellor Karen Whitney, and today we'll be talking about how our 14 universities help students realize their dreams. Today I'm joined by an outstanding set of panelists, and let me go ahead and introduce you to them. We're joined by Jeff Jones, Director of Admissions at Kutztown University. We're joined by Giovanni Negron-Garcia, a Communication Studies major at Kutztown and a Board of Governors Scholarship recipient. And finally, by John Snyder, Associate Director of Career Education and Development at Slippery Rock University. Welcome to our panel today.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Well, let me start off with Giovanni. Giovanni, tell us a little more about yourself and how you got to Kutztown.
It was a really tricky year last year. I faced a lot of tragedies, but over time, I needed a plan. I needed to look over those tragedies and say, where am I going to be headed for my future? And I just got a lot of love and support from Kutztown University, and we're looking for every possibility for me to go there, and I was blessed enough to receive a Board of Governors scholarship. That was amazing. So
this is your first year at Kutztown?
Yes, it is my first year.
Wow.
Loving it.
How's it? Because this is you're ending your first semester of your first year at the university.
Yeah, it's culture shock, but a lot of the work is loading me, and I'm just getting over it and just learning everything I need to. Yeah.
Well, it's getting to a really difficult time, but you're looking good.
Yeah.
You're looking good.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta look good.
There you go. Well, let's move on because we're going to talk more about how your year's going. But let me go ahead and talk to some more of our panelists today. And so, Jeff, tell us why is it so important for students not to wait and about applying to college? And in your opinion, when's the best time someone should start applying to college?
I've had a great experience with working with kids throughout my career, and one of the things that I find, and I'm finding it more often, is that you have certain kids who wait until the last minute to do things. And I think one of the messages that I've always tried to impart is that colleges don't need you. You need college. and with the cost of attendance and the struggles that families are going through to be able to afford the cost of college, I always try to say to students, the sooner that you can do things, the sooner that you can connect yourself with folks like me or others who are in our profession, the better off you are. So you don't want to wait until the last minute to start this process. This process needs to start as soon as you end your junior year. So
really your junior year, you could start spending quite a bit of time looking at colleges and getting more familiar.
Exactly. And we encourage that at Kutztown University. We set up our campus tour programs where we're receiving students throughout the summer, and especially rising seniors. And what we're finding, too, is that you have more and more students who are committing themselves a little more earlier to specific universities than in the past.
I see. Well, hey, John, what should students be thinking about when selecting where they might want to go to college?
There are a variety of things. First, they can do the research online, and also while they're still in high school, as Jeff mentioned, when admissions reps visit the high school, college fairs, and so on. But what's so important is going to the campus and visiting the campus and getting an idea for the culture. And so some of the things to take a look at would be the variety of majors that are there, the location of the campus. Is it a large, small campus, the physical size of it, whether it's a more compact campus or one that's stretched out, more urban, suburban, rural, whatever might fit their choices are so important as well. But when visiting the campus, getting a chance to talk with faculty, with professional staff, with other types of people there, and especially students. And so those are some of the things to consider as they try to select what campus is a good fit for them, because sometimes students will think there's only one right fit. There can be several right fits, but they do want to make the choice as far as what culture is, because so many students I have spoken to when they come to Slippery Rock, I say, what brought you to Slippery Rock? And they'll say, it just felt right when I visited. And likewise, when they go to other campuses too, whether it's IUP, Kutztown, East Stroudsburg, they might say, it fit my personality.
Take the time to look around. Don't just look at one place, and if you can, get there physically so you can find that best fit. Very good. Well, hey, let's go ahead and take a break, and let's go visit California University.
Welcome to California University. In the Office of Academic Success, it's our desire that every student who attends California University succeeds academically. If students ask for help, we provide services such as a math lab, a writing center, tutoring, a scheduling center to help students make sure they're taking the right classes.
We have 2 courses for first-year students, first-year seminar and Intro to University Studies. These courses are great for first-year students because they provide a foundation for them, teaching them such things as time management skills and study skills.
I give tours here on campus, and I always make sure I point out the math lab, the writing center, and the scheduling center, because those are 3 fantastic resources that we have. The scheduling center helped me see what classes I needed to take in order and what all the prerequisites were, and gave me a suggested track for the next 4 years.
At California University, our 4-year graduation rates are steadily climbing because it's our desire with our 4-year graduation plan that students graduate in 4 years and no more.
The 4-year graduation plan is CalU's commitment to help students stay on track and earn their degree in 4 years.
You're spending money in school when in reality you could be making money in your field of choice. What the 4-year grad program does is they make sure that you get every class that you need to get. They make sure that you have priority registration. In shorter terms, it gives you a blueprint.
At California University, we have also begun to develop learning communities for incoming students. We allow students to take 3 or 4 classes together so that they can learn to study with each other, connect with other students, and ultimately be successful academically.
And what's great about this program is these students take the same courses together, so they get to know each other. So by the end of their freshman year, they've made really good friends with students within their academic major. With the peer mentoring program, students volunteer to assist freshmen with the transition to the university. These students are in the same academic major, but also in addition to that, they're their more or less first friend on campus.
I didn't know anyone coming into Cal, so it was a nice way to know that somebody was out there looking out for me. In the first week of school, she showed me around campus to all the classes that I had, and what I really liked about her was that she helped me outside of the classroom. She taught me how to meet new friends, and she taught me where to hang out.
When we match our mentors and our proteges together, we look at their hobbies, where they came from, their majors. Parents should be comforted in knowing that they're getting an upperclassman who is kind, caring, and knowledgeable to entrust their freshmen to.
Alpha Lambda Delta is a freshman honor society. And what's great about this society is they give out scholarship money. Over the past 5 years, our students have won over $23,000 worth of scholarships.
One of the greatest things about Alpha Lambda Delta is we help you build a career advantage. In other words, we help you get a job. You build professional relationships, networking skills, organizational skills, leadership skills. These are all things that employers are looking for.
CalU is definitely committed to student success. Here at CalU, I feel like they've helped me in so many ways, whether it's from mentoring to the 4-year grad plan.
I tell students I meet with, I can't wait to see you walk across the stage at graduation and receive your diploma.
Welcome back. Today we're talking about how our 14 universities help our students realize their dreams. John, I'm going to start with you. Can you talk to me a little bit about what types of majors are offered at state universities like Slippery Rock?
And I think what you can take a look at for all the 14 state system schools is that we'll have the traditional liberal arts, English, history, and so on, but also majors that are more occupationally oriented. such as safety management, education, business, and so on. Neither of them, though, put people into a box and saying, if I major in education, I have to go into teaching. People can still broaden out. Likewise, if someone chooses a liberal arts background, such as English or history, even though a parent might say, why are you majoring in that? That can still lead to a successful career in medicine, in business, and all sorts of things. So you can break the majors in those two broad categories, those that are liberal arts majors, traditional, and those that are more designed for a specific occupational area.
Oh, thank you very much. Hey, Jeff, let me ask you, what from your perspective, what do you tell students, what should they be looking out for in a major?
You know, I think the biggest concern that I have is that students, a lot of students, or some I should say, don't really do the research in terms of career long path. If I look at myself when I came out of high school, you come out of a family with parents' 3rd, 6th grade education. So we didn't have that type of background in my home. I was very fortunate that I was around folks who really shared different things with me, and it really opened my eyes. But I think the most unique thing that happened with me, I wanted to be a lawyer coming out of high school. I ended up taking a class in history, and the department chair was the teacher, and he literally lit me up. And it really created my career path for me. I ended up graduating with my degree in history and sociology and certified to teach as a result of my relationship with him. So I think kids really need to take all these different things into consideration. Not only matching a career based on income and future employment, but also something that they're going to have a compassion about.
Sure, sure. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Hey, Giovanni, what inspired you to become a communication studies major at Kutztown?
Well, last year when I was doing the research, I put a list, and I put what do I like to do and what do I want to do with my future. I didn't look at salaries. I didn't look at anything like that. I generally looked like, what am I going to be comfortable with, and where can I find the best opportunities? So with being doing public speaking engagements and always networking, always being on social media and loving social media and what it brings and what it can actually do, I just said to myself, it makes sense to be a communication studies major. I wanted to be a psychology major, but with everything I was already doing and networking, it just made the best sense. So I believe making a list and actually doing the research and not considering salaries, it just got me there, and I just love it, and I'm seeing results as days go on.
So, Jeff, my view is it's not unusual for students to change majors, to evolve and grow, that you might have a first dream before you start college, but I think it's okay, I want to get your feedback, that over time as you learn things, as you meet faculty, that it's okay to make some changes and shifts along the way of major. What are your thoughts?
And that's why I'm not opposed to students entering the university undeclared. I think there is such a push on trying to get students to select a major. It's a lot easier to manage that student that way, and I don't know if it's institutional or if it's just something that just happened, but what I find is that, and I think it's very common, that a lot of students change their major over time, and I think it's a result of attending a lot of different classes that John alluded to earlier, and you meet folks who just literally light your eyes up, and you start realizing there's more things out there for me to consider.
Well, I want to talk more about the undecided major in a minute, but right now we want to take a break and go visit Edinboro University.
The only way you're going to be successful is through empowering yourself to do as much as possible before graduating, because earning a degree does not equal a job in May when you graduate.
So here at the Center for Career Development and Experiential Learning, we're really focused on creating an ecosystem of career and professional development across our entire campus and across all stages of the student life cycle.
The Center for Career Development at Edinboro University empowers students to learn more about their career path, and we also encourage them to be as involved with our office as possible. Freshman year, we like to see students come in, learn how to write a resume, learn how to write a cover letter, just so that they can have that knowledge later down the road. But we try to impress upon them, start networking on campus, start networking with your professors, start learning about what opportunities in your field exist, even though you're not ready for an internship yet.
Well, really what's happening now is there's a movement toward providing career assessments much earlier in the process to help students find the right career path for them.
I came in as an early childhood major, and Dr. Linneman was my advisor. And I took a few classes in education, and I realized it kind of wasn't for me. But I went to Dr. Linneman, I told her, yeah, this may not be for me. She talked to me, found out my interests, tried to figure out like what's the best for me, and then that's how I got into the journalism program. But I still felt like something was missing. So and then that's when Dr. Worth recommended I pick up something in sports. You know, I've always been a part of sports. I played football here at Edinboro.
We're experts in knowing resources that our students can use to find jobs and internships. We offer a Tradeify assessment, which is a personality assessment that results in career matches for each individual student. We also offer resume services online, cover letter services online. We also offer Big Interview, which is an online video-based resource that teaches students about the 101 of interviewing. And at the end of the curriculum, they can participate in mock interview videos, and our office can actually view those videos and give our students feedback on how well they did.
It's really important that our students get out there and experience the world, and not only have that robust academic experience, but apply that in a real world context.
In the sports management degree program, you're required to take 2 internships. One I did at Edinboro University under Todd J, and that experience was just so worthwhile. I learned so many experiences. And then also I had an internship at Mercyhurst under Joe Kemble. He's the athletic director there, and again, just learning from him, learning all the ins and outs of working in another department. So I got 2 Division II experiences in athletic department that helped me prepare me for my careers.
So we try to help our students understand that before you leave college, there are several things that you need to complete in order to be successful.
By the time they reach senior year, they should be ready to seize opportunity. So if they have done everything that they should over their last 3 years, and we have done everything that we should, that student is well prepared to seize all the opportunities that we create.
Welcome back. Today we're talking about how our 14 universities are helping our students realize their dreams. Let me ask you, Jeff, let's talk some more about undecided majors. And so is it okay from your perspective for students to enter college undecided?
You know, I think it is. One of the concerns that I've had, and I've sort of expressed to a lot of students over the years, is that sometimes, I mean, even as young adults, it takes us time to become adults. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times students leave high school with the thought that the same biology that they took in high school is the same biology that they're going to experience in college. And once they enter college, they realize that it's an entirely different challenge. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we're just not prepared for the things that we think we are prepared for. And I think that's the reason why you have so many students over time decide to go down different career paths and not particularly go down the path that they envisioned themselves going through leaving high school. But I think it's perfectly fine, and I think students need to have the space to discover themselves and their passion. And entering the university undeclared provide those opportunities.
Completely agree. Thanks. John, let me ask you something. What resources are available at Slippery Rock to assist students in choosing a major?
The resources that are available are a combination of online and in-person. And so right on our website, all our majors and minors are listed. Also, what we subscribe to is a resource called Focus, where students can take interest inventories that can match their interest to particular majors and occupations that are most related to those majors. But the most important resource, people. Mm-hmm. Faculty, people such as myself in career education and my colleagues, our student success coaches, other students, and that's where students will find where is their best fit, because as Jeff mentioned, whether you come in as an exploratory student or you already have a major, most students will change. Mm-hmm. And that's the beauty of a bachelor's degree, is that first year or so, students get a chance or are forced to explore other areas, because often they come in with this idea, I want to be a biology major, and oh, college biology is a lot different than high school. Where do I go from here?
Right.
And that's where people such as myself and my colleagues are available to help them with resources, tools, but also talking to them. Here are your choices and where you can go with that.
Wow, thank you very much. Hey, Giovanni, what opportunities have you had or taken advantage of regarding your major?
Oh, well, including my major, we have a communications club. So that's something to be part of. We get to network and we get to learn new things. And as a freshman, I'm already learning things about my major I didn't even know about ahead of time. So it kind of gives me an advantage when I go into my sophomore and junior year. And also we have the Career and Development Center, and they work very closely with you so that you can go seek an internship, know about the how to build a resume, how to do it properly, how to set it properly. So those are just some of the opportunities I get with my major. And then mentors like Jeff Jones and the admissions office and different resources on campus. And there's a lot. I mean, just being able to reach out to that's a lot of things my major offers.
I think what's incredible is you're doing all this in your very first year.
Yeah.
And that kind of support and everything. I hope you're finding that helpful.
It's very helpful.
That's great. Well, I'll tell you what we're going to do now is take a quick break, and we're going to go visit East Stroudsburg University.
There's a real problem when art and design students graduate. Most job postings will say experience required, but you can't get that experience if you don't have a job already. So New Mind Design offers students that experience.
New Mind Design is a student-run design agency that the Art and Design Department here at ESU developed to give students real-world experiences that the classroom cannot provide.
They do everything in the design agency from invoicing, creating contracts, issuing contracts, and communicating with clients.
We use the entire design process. So whenever we meet with clients, we get their feedback, their ideas. We write contracts, we do invoices, we bill them.
Clients that New Mind Design work with range from ESU community members to the local community members to regional and even national community members. We do 2D design projects, 3D printing projects. We do product design, posters, postcards, brochures, business cards, national or regional park signage, stickers. You name it, we pretty much do it.
The faculty is great. They are always here to support us whenever we have a question. We can always ask them.
Dave and Darlene will email us back at crazy hours of the night. They're always there for us.
We kind of set ourselves aside and give them the guidance and advice as they kind of work one-on-one with the various clients.
When we critique on a project before we show a client, we're very supportive, but also we are kind of harsh sometimes, and I think that's what makes us stronger because we can be completely honest with each other and we can say, hey, we don't really like this, or maybe you should change this, and it only makes the design better.
And it's not just you designing whatever you want, it's just the client says this and you want to make them happy and you try your best to achieve that through the agency.
New Mind Design empowers students to take charge and take a different leadership role when they work with clients. They're making the choices, they're kind of guiding where things are going, and I think that is a really great opportunity for them.
I think that's amazing real-world experience that you wouldn't get in a traditional internship where you're filing papers or doing little jobs. We get real jobs, we get real clients, and New Mind Design as a business gets paid for that work.
It really lets them see what really happens in the real world as a creative person.
Since I'm graduating in 2 months, I've started looking and applying for jobs, and a lot of people that I've just been in contact with haven't heard of a student-run design agency. So whenever they see that on my resume, they immediately ask questions. What have you done? How is it run? And I tell them we've done invoices, I have experience writing contracts, and that just blows their minds.
I've gained confidence through my design work. I've gained tons of experience dealing with clients, being in a leadership role. I feel like I'm very prepared to go out in the real world and get a job.
Welcome back. Today we're talking about how our state universities are helping students realize their dreams. John, let me ask you, why is choosing a major just the beginning when it comes to a person's lifelong career?
All professions require lifelong learning. And so choosing a major, following through, graduating from college, a 4-year degree is just the beginning of what could be a 40, 45-year career. I often will get students come to my office and say to me, I like this opportunity as they're a senior looking at their first job, but they'll say, I don't want to do it for 40 years. Nobody's asking them to do it for 40 years. It might be 4 or 5 years. And so this is just the beginning, and then keeping those opportunities open mind open, because it might be through connections. Giovanni's mentioned networking. It could be a network that takes you in another path, because our career path is rarely a straight line. It's usually a winding road. And many people who are experiencing careers will say, I just happened to get here through circumstance, but they also worked hard to do that, and it's through networking, through relationships, and through lifelong learning.
So a lot of preparation along the way.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And this is just the beginning.
There you go. Well, Jeff, let me ask you, from your perspective, how important is it for students to understand a job market?
I think it's critically important, and it almost reminds me when I first graduated from college and I was seeking a teaching position in the Chicago area, and you walk into a room and here's 6 other folks vying for the same position. I was very fortunate. I was the first one that interviewed, and the principal took a great interest in me and said to the other gentleman who was there, let me walk Mr. Jones around the high school for a little bit, and I'll be back and we'll finish the interview process. Well, they never had a chance to interview. And it's sort of been that way for me all my life. I think it's critically important. And I think the more that you take time out and think about the different things that you want to do, and again, have the passion for your job and your career, I think you'll be fine.
There you go. Well, good advice, sir. Giovanni, let me ask you, what advice would you give high school students? You're in your first year right now. A year ago, you were probably a high school student there. What should they be doing right now to be looking at the universities?
Right now, they should be seeking their passion and purpose. Why do they continue going to school? Why they love doing what they do? And when they choose that university, they need to see themselves there.
That's great.
They can't just say, this is the top school, I want to be there. They have to be realistic with themselves. If this is the place they want to be, this is the place they vision, and they can carry out their passion and purpose there, that's where they have to be. And that's my advice to upcoming seniors, be where you want to be and pitch yourself. You have one chance at your dream, and you should go take it. And that's why I'm in Kutztown University.
Yeah, well, it's clear to me that you're pursuing your dream and you've taken that chance. That is terrific. Okay, last word advice. We're going to go around. What's the one thing you would ask someone who sees this show, what should they do?
Apply early.
Apply early.
Yes.
Okay, John, what's the one thing?
What I would say is balance your dreams with the reality. And so that's what we look at. Go for your passion, but also realize what the job market's like and what your opportunities are out there.
Well, there you go. Well, thank you, panelists. We've had a great talk today about how people can realize their dreams. And thank you for watching and learning about how our 14 state universities are here to help you realize your dreams and be successful.
Come back next week to learn more of the infinite opportunities at the state system's 14 universities, or visit us online